Hello and welcome. I am Jill DeWit. I am one half, the smaller half of Land Academy and House Academy. That is our one of many companies that I have with my awesome, wonderful partner, Stephen Jack Butala. So I'm going to take a moment, let people join in here and make sure I love to see if I can get a little thumbs up, audio, video, that I'm good because again, I'm solo. I'm not in our office and was our home office, which is better, obviously. But I'm not in the real office. I don't have my team around me, so I'm kind of doing this all on my own. So if you could put a little something in the chat, it'll make it to me, and that would be awesome. And I think I just got my confirmation, so we're good. So again, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me today, and I hope I can provide some real quality content for you. Again, I am Jill DeWitt. Me and my partner and I, Stephen Jack Butala, are Land Academy and House Academy. And today I'm going to talk to you about a topic that has been um, coming up a lot recently, and I'm sure that's why you're here. Basically, I'm going to talk to you about what I do when I'm changing my offer price with sellers as they're calling back, or how I really here's the real title because my as the title was written, I thought that was really kind of politically correct. But here's my real title. You guys all love this one. It's really how to chat with these sellers and break the news to them that you're no longer going to pay the amount listed on the purchase agreement that you sent out pre-coronavirus. That's the fact, and that's what's going on. A lot of us are dealing with that. I have experienced dealing with this not only all day, every day right now, myself and my team, but I've been dealing with that for years. We have offers that, have been sent out 10, 15, gosh, years ago, and people still call back. I had just a gentleman I called back today, and sadly, it was a property that was so small and the back taxes were so high that it wasn't really worth my while anyway. But these guys are digging up our letters and they're calling back, and the offer price is going to be different. Now, what's interesting is some of these people, they expected, if I'm staring at an offer to buy a property, 10 years ago, I'm probably going to expect there could be some changes. I hope it's up, but I don't know. Things, depending how the area has grown and how the market has developed around there. But some of them, like we're dealing with right now, we just sent them out in January, maybe even February. We didn't see, none of us really saw or expected this coming, and now we're having to make some adjustments. So do not worry. That is why I'm here, and I can help you with that. So this is what I'm going to talk about today, and the reason I'm doing this too is this is a direct request from many of our members. We just chatted about it yesterday a little bit, and then more last week. It really started last week on our weekly member call. Every Thursday, we get together with every Land Academy member and every House Academy member. And this is not just normal Corona, hey, we're here for you calls. These are the calls we've been doing for years. This is always it. And it's always Stephen and I, and it's every Thursday afternoon. And we address whatever's on your mind. And this was really coming up. My community said, Jill, we really want to know what to do here. You're doing it all day long. We want to kind of do a deep dive on this subject. And I said, okay, so here we are. That's what we're doing it. So I'm going to give you my tips for, we around here joke about, how we Jillify it. So I'm going to help you Jillify working with these sellers. And so I'm going to talk about my tips. I'm going to spend, I don't know, 10 minutes or so on that. I'm going to open it up for about 15 minutes of Q&A. So, and you can start putting your questions in at any moment. Drop them in. I'll scroll back and get to them, and I love it. Thank you. I see some of our people that are dropping in, and I like to see that my Ireland community got our little note there, our little shout out to Ireland. We put your time zone in there so you would know when to tune in. So not that you don't know, but we thought that you would like our little shout out to you guys. So glad you were here. Um, so yeah, go ahead and drop your comments in or things, and I'll address them all. and let's get going. And then I have a few little announcements at the end that I'm going to share too. So again, I am Jill DeWit, and along with my partner Stephen Jack Vitala, we founded and created Land Academy and House Academy. Why? We are the pros at still buying undervalued property and reselling it for more. We've done, gosh, now we're going to be tipping over 16,000 transactions since the 90s. Stephen, way more than me. I came along in the last 10, 11 years, but so he's done way more than I have. But the funny thing is, we've always been doing it online. And here we are, still doing it online and getting even better at it. And we're so ahead of the curve here as our members are, that we're all feeling good. I hope you're feeling good about this. I know I am. And today we're going to talk about one of the tweaks that I'm making, pricing. And where am I starting with pricing? What's a tweak I'm making? Buying them a little bit better. And how am I doing that? Well, I'm having these conversations with these sellers. The offer I sent out is changed. So this is not the first, I want to point out, this is not the first downturn or recession that we have survived. Stephen and I have survived. He's been in this business again since the 90s. Me, I only came in at the tail end of the last disaster. But I like to think I came in at a time when it was pretty bad. I watched it go from bad to a little bit worse and then watched it come back up again. And because I was with him down in the, awful times there, I we made a lot of changes. We together figured out how to recover. We never stopped buying and selling land the whole time, and that was interesting. And now we've spent the last however many years, what, 10 or so years, 10, 12 years, making sure we would be in a good position for the next one. And here we are. And that's a lot of what Land Academy is. A lot of Land Academies not only been teaching our business model, but setting you up to succeed regardless of the outcome. Teaching you all of our tricks and tips, and like just little things like don't have one sales venue like we did last time. eBay was it. That was our main number one thing, was eBay. And man, killed it on eBay. Well, then, when the recession hit, nobody really wanted to have anything to do with eBay, and we didn't recover as quickly as we could have. And so again, we never stopped, but now we're like, we know what to do differently, and that's what we're doing, and that's what we do and what we share. So, and again, so we have been doing this for years. We've created Land Academy because of our land buying customers. And now I'm so proud and I'm so happy. Thank you for, hi, Dan. I see you guys, and Brian, and, just happy you're here. And we have such an amazing, awesome, mighty, big, small community of 500 of the most amazing, like-minded investors I could ever work with. So I am so happy. So this is what we do. So this community, and for those of you who are listening, I want to help you too, whether you're in our community or not in our community. I want to share this. There's enough land to go around. We've all covered that. We all can be doing bigger and better deals together. That's what we're doing, and that's part of why I'm here. So let me back up. I'll explain a little more about this situation. So what we do is how we buy this stuff. We buy very inexpensive properties by mailing a 2-page, unsolicited cash offer direct to sellers in the mail. We use our own data. We're licensed providers, I should say, of the top 3 data. I'll say it real quick. It's RealQuest Pro, Title Pro 24/7, and Data Tree, and we share them with our community. Everybody gets access to all that nationwide. So we use that data and a lot of other factors that we all work together on to get these offers out in the mail in the hands of sellers. We don't troll the MLS, and we don't normally go through brokers. It's directly to the sellers. And what we do by sending these offers out, we get a very predictable number of sellers that come back. And I got to tell you, even more so right now. And we commonly purchase these properties at anywhere from 20 to 30, sometimes even less, than their current value. So that's what we're doing. And then what do we do with them? We quickly mark them up. My goal is to double my money. If I buy something 20 to 25% of what else is available out there for sale, I want to double my money and get out. So that means I'm selling something at half of what everybody else is. And that's why mine sells the quickest. And that's why my buyers love me and how I get a customer for life that way. So they feel like they win because they did. So let's assume, so here's the scenario. I'm prefacing what this is about today. So you're just like me. You are running your business as normal. Your mailers are going out, by the thousands, because that's what we do. Your sellers get the mail, they open them up, they're reviewing your offer, and this is like, February 15th, you hit the button, you know, however many days later they got the offers, and then this hits. And now you and them prices are dropping, and now your phone's ringing. And now you realize what, like we did, I've got to buy it even less now to be in a really good position to mark them up like I always have been and to move these properties fast. I don't want my business to change, and it shouldn't change. Now I just have to I have to buy these properties better. That's it. So now you find yourself in this situation, and you're staring. So here's what happens. The seller's got your offer. They March 30th or April 30th, let's say even April 30th, they just signed it and they faxed it back into you, or they mailed it back into you, they scanned it back into you, and they are so excited to get this offer in your hand. And now you're staring at it going, uh-oh, I just sent a purchase agreement. This guy signed this purchase agreement, and this price doesn't make sense to me now. So it's it's time to call the seller back and break the news to them, right? And it is scary, especially if you haven't done it before. You feel bad. I signed it. What do I do? It's okay. Here's what you do, and that's why we are here. So number one, I want you to be understanding. They might think that for some crazy reason, even though they see all the properties around them going down, that you see some value that they also agree on, that their property commands this price, not this price. So I want you to take a step back, maybe put yourself in their shoes a little bit, and realize that they were thinking that it's worth more than you're going to spend. Also, I want you to be real aware and kind, because they might have just been celebrating about the price that you were just going to offer them. They signed it. They're like, great. Oh my gosh. Sweetheart, guess what? We're going to get $12,577 next week. I just signed it and sent it back. So they may have already spent that money in their heads. So I want you to really be understanding and gentle, really, when you call them and talk to them about this. So that's my first thing. Get yourself in their heads, you know, before you pick up the phone and reach out. So here is step two. You did that. You called them. You're talking to them, asking them how they're doing, how they are. Uh, everybody's on the same. Everybody's feeling good. They were looking for your call. They're excited that you called. I want you to kind of nicely, I know they know it, but it's what I do is I kind of illustrate the timing. You know, I know because my letter was obviously postmarked February 3rd, and I did not predict this. I know you didn't predict this, what was going to happen, but here we are. Again, I do this, all the time anyway, because I'll have guys that, looking at an offer from 2007, and not only are they surprised that I'm here, but they're surprised I'm still interested, in the property. So just nicely talk to them about, I didn't plan for this, but here's where we are. All right, so step 3 is sharing the good news. Here is the good news. I am still here. This is still my business, and I am still interested in your property. Get that out there. Then I want you to talk about my next step, which is step 4. Politely, this is kind of easing them in. And this doesn't have to be a long conversation, by the way. Just this is just my flow, and it really goes nicely when I do it like this. So, step 4, just kind of politely explain, what's going on in your world right now. Obviously, the timing, you talked about it, the good news, you're still here. Step 4 is, you're not going to believe what's happened in my world. I now have a lot more opportunities coming my way, and I'm sure they will go. No kidding. I would have never signed this 6 months ago. If they don't say it, they're thinking it. I wouldn't have signed this 6 months ago. I would have told you to go jump on a lake 6 months ago. I need the money too. So it's no surprise that you're sharing with them. Look, I got a lot to sift through, and I've got a lot of sellers reaching out to me right now. I have a finite amount of money, but yours made the cut. I am interested. So, step 5, there's no other way to say it. Rip the band-aid off. We use this often, and in every situation, there's a little bit of buildup, but you can't sugarcoat it too much. You just got to rip the band-aid off and get it out there. Be nice, but be blunt. My highest and best offer now is X. I know it was 12,000. I'll give this other, I was kind of mentioning what, $12,977, right? That was my offer in February. Guess what? Now my offer is $8,000. That is now my highest and best offer. So, and we talked about this. I want to put a side note in this here. And this is how I want you to be pricing these offers too. I want that $8,000 to be the number that you came up with yourself, that you said before you ever picked up the phone, if this guy takes this price, I have to buy it. I know no matter what happens, I feel great. I'm not going to lose any sleep about writing a check for $8,000. So I want you to price it. I said this the other day too in one of our calls, and somebody reminded me of it yesterday, and it was so good. It's like, I want you to price this property like you're trying not to do the deal. You're like, I don't want this property. I really don't, but shucks. At 8,000, I'm going to do it. So that's the price I want you to come back with. And like I said, just rip the band-aid off and just get it out there. Then the final step, step 6, is stop right there. Don't say a word. I want you to pause and let them breathe a minute and let them take it all in, because you just dropped it $4,000 on them, and they're going to need a minute to process it. Let them. They're not going to go anywhere. So now we've got through that. Okay, so now what do we do? I came up to, I'm going to give you my typical seller responses. I'm going to take this all the way through the end. So that's the conversation. Well, that's great, Jill. What do I do now with what they come back with? So there's, and how do I just kind of get it all the way to the end? So here's my typical, I have 3 typical responses. So response number A, you pause, they took it all in, they're mad. Response A is, you got to be kidding me. No way. 12, I even thought 12,000 was nuts, and now you're offering me 8. Absolutely not. So what do? Here's your response. I want you to just nicely, there's no reason to be, it's just all calm, but just say, I realize this is not what you were expecting. And I too am making adjustments with my business because of this current situation. My prices are all reduced as well. And like I said a few minutes ago, I do have a lot of property review. Please feel free, though. I want you to save my letter. And if you do change your mind, please reach back out to me. I'm not going anywhere. I will be here. That's it. And you'd be surprised how many do. They may be mad today or upset today, or gosh, you just the wind out of their sails today. But handling like that, leaving the door open, is huge. I do that anyway on everything that we do. So I always leave the door open. Okay, so that's the first response. Response B, the seller says, wow, darn, I wasn't expecting that much of a change. I need to talk to my wife. I need to talk to my husband. I need to talk to my brother. I need to talk to my partner, whatever it is. So they're not saying no yet, but you shocked them a little bit. And they need to sleep on it and they need to run it by somebody in their family, in their world. And I get it and I understand it. And that is cool. And I want you to tell them that you do that. So, you know what? I completely understand. And I want you to do that. But I do have to be honest with you. I do have several other properties that I am reviewing, and I'm making a lot of decisions this week. So, you know, if please let me know by Friday if you're interested. Otherwise I won't be sure I'll have the cash around. So give them a timeline, whatever makes sense. It might be Friday, it might be next Tuesday, it might be by the 15th. You're making all your decisions by the 15th, whatever it is. Give them a deadline, give them something concrete that they know they need to make a decision by and get back to you. And it's because you know that they're kind of right there and you're right there. And it's being honest too. None of this is meant to be um, anything less than sincere. You really, and that's my business too. I don't have I kind of have an unlimited cash because I can reel things in. And by the way, if you're a Land Academy member, you also have unlimited cash because you have the same resources that I have behind me. You have me and I have them. So we got people, right? So we do have kind of unlimited resources, but still it's your time and it's your energy. There's only so many deals you can or want to get done, in a day, in a week, in a month, whatever it is. So it's I want to give them that and know that I'm not just here waiting for you. There's a cutoff. So that's response B. And then finally, the third response is C. And these are the ones that I actually am getting more of. And I think as this progresses, you also will get more of, which is, you know, I expected this. Uh, what do we do next? Or I've had a few of, you know, I expected this. Is that the best you can do? Man, I know you said 8,000. If you could make it 8,500, that would really, really solve our problems, right now, or solve whatever I've got going on right now. I get just kind of a variation of that. And my response is, yes, this is my best offer. Say this is my best offer. I'm not open to whatever, because what they're asking for doesn't make sense a little bit. This is the best you can do, and you're like, that's kind of it. And I would just say, look, that is my best offer. Just keep in mind too, like I stated in my purchase agreement, that's net to you. So you're going to get that check for $8,000. It's not going to be minus closing fees or recording fees or whatever it is. Whatever I promised, I'm going to fulfill. So you're going to get that. And I'm going to get it to you quick. So I'm ready. How fast you want to get that money? And that's when they're going to go. And you're going to, and I would too, right there, or they're on the phone, by the way. Start putting dates on the calendar. If you're going to self close, see if there's a time that's better for people to sign, get that down. Where do they want to sign? How do they want this to go? If you're going through a title, get all the information right now. Just say, hey, when we hang up the phone, I am opening escrow. Congratulations, you can call this done. And I'm going to tell them, I've actually got this agent that I've been using for a long time. And we usually do these cash deals in 10 days. Sit tight. And they're going to be like, oh, thank you. So that's what's going to happen. And then otherwise, like I said, if they, sometimes now and then there's a little bit, I just want to throw this in there because it's just a nice thing to do. Sometimes a little extra money really makes it doesn't make a difference to me. $500 is it going to make a huge difference to my bottom line? No. Is it going to put food on his table for another couple weeks? Yeah. So an extra $500, if there's a little something like that, I say do it. And that's the reputation that you want. So, and then, like I was saying, at the end, I want you to follow through. I want you to close as fast as you can. Make this. We all need to keep these deals moving quickly because our business is not stopping. It is not changing. All we are doing is buying for a little bit less and maybe selling for a little bit less. But everything else, no change. So I'm gonna go ahead. Wow, I'm so into my topic. Thank you so much. I am going to open up my Q&A time here, and I love all these long, great questions in here. So let's see here. We've got. So, you have any questions? By the way, it doesn't have to be necessarily about this topic. Clearly, I'm going to go past the 30 minutes. So, if you anything you have about this topic, what's going on right now, things that we're doing differently, things about Land Academy, bring it. I'm happy to answer them. I have a few little announcements at the end, so it'll be kind of some cool stuff I'll share. But so go ahead and just drop your things in here. So let's see. Trying not to buy. Trying not. To, oh, thank you, Dan. You're the person I was talking about. We had a conversation a week ago Thursday on our member call, and then Dan brought it up again yesterday, saying I keep going into these properties where I don't want to buy it, and then I end up buying them because you're coming at it at the right way, and it's obviously you're getting for the price that makes everybody happy. I am so glad. Congratulations. This is awesome. Here we go. All right, here's my cool Ireland peeps. We sent out a a campaign in January and spoke with a seller, and we couldn't reach a number that worked. I followed your advice and we got our price, and the seller is happy. Yay! I am so happy. Thank you for sharing that. I love it. Okay, here's Erin English. If you remember a couple weeks ago, we had a Facebook Live where we're right here and they were sitting in their awesome garden up in Oregon with Erin and Liz English. So, hi, Erin English. Happy to see you here. So, Erin says, had another wave of sales this week, mostly cash deals, freaking killing it right now. I need to figure out how I can operate without sleep. It's game over, man. And what's so great is this is so awesome, you guys. I love it. They have a side, I don't know which one you want to call your side gig, your growing nursery plant business or this business, because it sounds like each side gig is overtaking the other side gig. Talk about picking the right stuff. I'm so happy for you guys. Congrats. And hi, Liz. So cool. All right. Brandon's got a question here. So this is a long one. Okay, so Brandon wrote, slightly different from the topic, which is great, but I just looked at my most recent mailer and why it wasn't getting a good response. I found out that during my copy and paste from Excel, I messed up some of the addresses. So I wasted that energy. Some of the addresses were wrong going out on your mailer. I'm so sad. So my question is, I'm sorry, Brandon. Can I, or do I mail these people again with an update at the top of the letter, apologizing for the wrong address and or, information, or just move on and learn to be a little more meticulous and checking my mailer before sending it out? You know what, Brandon? I don't think there's anything wrong with sending out a follow-up one. You put you put so much time and energy into picking that county, scrubbing the data, pricing the data, and in your mail merge or some your copy and paste uh, process there, it got a little gooped up. You may have I hate it when that happens. You miss a line and it's got the name wrong or something like that. So I think it would be fine to send it out again and say, I'm so sorry, but I'm here and I want to buy your property. And you could, I don't know, maybe make a laugh about it, something funny in there if you want to, um, and see what happens. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, and speaking of which, true to form, a very experienced member, Aaron English, typed in and answered and shared his own experience, which is, I've done that. Been there, done that. In the past, I've just sent another offer. It's best to wait to see what you get back and how fast they sell from the correct mailers you sent. I love it. And if you decide to resend a mailer in that same area, you can adjust your price accordingly. There you go. So for the ones that you got right, I think you said it, there were 1,000 that were off and you had 2,000 of the 2,000 or something like that. If you got some right, that's a good one. Let's see what the response is and then decide if you want to come back and hit it again. I love it. Ooh, this is a good one. So Martin says, how many blind offers do you typically send per month now? It's usually per mailer. I'm all over the map. I'm a bad example because we just sent out to an area, I want to say 3 counties in one state. It starts with a T. That's all I'm going to say. And it's, I want to say 3,000 units for this county. I think we were hitting like 10 to 40 acre properties, what we were going for. And we're waiting right now. It just went out last week. So I'm kind of waiting for it. Here's another tip, by the way, too. I started not just using my old Arizona mailbox and phone number for these mailers. If I'm really going hard in one area, I won't do this everywhere. Well, I might change it and I might do this everywhere. So let me tell you what I'm currently doing so I'm not further eating my words. I'm good at that. So we used to always use our same home base, Arizona. I'm clearly not in Arizona. Mailing address and phone number, regardless of where we were. I do have it and I still keep it because we've been using it forever. I'm never going to give that up. But I've started adding mailboxes and phone numbers, local mailboxes and local phone numbers for areas I want to hit for a specific reason, and I plan on being there for a while. So I would recommend doing that. Just budget for it because you're going to spend, a couple $100. You can get a mailbox for a couple $100 for like a year and keep it. But you got the phone number thing you're forwarding, but it's all good stuff. Anyway, so I do that, and then we go up to 17,000 units and it's only because I have the team and I can go like gangbusters. What I would recommend for someone new starting out, no less than 3,000. I used to say 1,500. I mean, I'd say between 1,500 and 3,000. Let's go with that. That's a safe number. And you know what? Ask these people right now. This is good. If you and anyone on this event right now, please feel free to chime in. These guys are doing it too, all over the country, and we all are. And also a great place too, if you want to even talk to someone, Martin, about a certain area that you're thinking of targeting, and you want to test the water and get an idea, some feedback from some people that are, in those areas, please go on our online community. It's landinvestors.com. So landinvestors with an S.com, and it's totally free. Get in there and just ask away. And as you can see from here, this group is so happy to help. We are all doing deals together. We all got help from somebody else when we were starting out. We are all seasoned to pay it back, and partially too because we want to help you. We want you to help somebody else, and then we want to help you because when you get a deal, Brandon or Martin, that you can't take down, you're going to call me and you're going to say, Jill, I need some money. I did what you said. This area is fantastic. I got a bunch of deals. I can't afford them all. We got to work together on. Done. That's what we're all doing. So, really good question. Um, Hello, Erin. Erin Pinto asks, what is a typical monthly budget to get started? Okay, I want you to think about, you need to get data. If you don't have data and you get access to data, it's usually a couple $100 a month to get you nationwide access to some data. We provide it through Land Academy. You can go on our sites. You can go in the community too and talk to our people about this, or even just go to landacademy.com and look at the pricing and everything. But I want you to send out 1,500 to 3,000 units, uh, a mailer going out. Why do I say that much too? You don't want to send 100. You don't want to send 200. I want you to send a lot because I want you to have a lot to come back to you, and I want you to pick out the best. You send out a 500 or mailer 500, and maybe 20 call you back, and you're staring at 20. maybe not even that. 20 is probably not crazy right now, but still, I want you to have a lot more to choose from that. I want you to have a lot that you can sit and pick, and I want you to line them all up and go home run, not so sure. I'll call the guy, I'll think about it. I'll sleep on it. I want you to line them up and pick the best. And that's what we do. And the data and the mail is the cheapest part of this. Making a mistake and spending too much on a property, a couple $1,000s or more, that's expensive. That's what I don't want to happen. So I want you to spend more on that. So I would budget a couple $1,000s a month on, let's say, data. Well, you could probably do it on 1,000, because if you do 15, it's 50 cents roughly. I'm totally rounding here. So let's just say 50 cents a mailer. So 1,000 is what? $500. 2,000 is $1,000. So you could do it for, under $1,000 a month, get a good mailer out there. I hope I'm doing my math right. If I'm not doing it right, I know you guys will correct me. My people are so good at that. It doesn't hurt my feelings too. But great question. And then again, by the way, this is what's going on in our world. We started this a while back where actually it's been a year now, well over a year. Land Academy deal funding started in January 2019. And I've got money and I'd love to fund your deals. So since January 2019, you got a good deal. It's not going to go to waste. So you don't have to come into this venture, saying I'm gonna be an investor too and do what these guys are doing. A lot of us money used to hold us back. Like, shucks, I can get the mail out, I can do this, I can do that, but then I'm done. I can't afford to buy these properties. Well, now you can. You got me. I know you have Erin English, by the way, and there's a lot of people on this call that are not talking, but they're here, and more in our community that will fund this for you. So that takes that. You don't have to worry about that anymore. So we will do it. All right. So, oh, thank you, Brandon. Brandon said, thanks. I haven't got any sellers yet that had the correct address, but I also did go in a little hot. You know what? Define hot, because hot for us is coming in, like a really, really crazy low price. And what I think is hot, I think I'm coming in hot. And I'm hearing some people on our member calls every week that I'm like, wow, okay, that was good. You really got a good price. And the main point of it all is you never know what these sellers expect. And you don't know until you put it out there and ask. And our sellers are feeling good. Do they want to take pictures and get a drone shot, or hire a broker and pay commission and hope they sell it in 6 months and hope they have a guy that cares, or do it themselves? Do they even know how? No, and no. So it's like, you know what? Offer Up wouldn't be here. I just, that's, the, it's like, even, I mean, that's not the best example, but we're reaching these sellers and they don't even have to take a picture, and they're selling to us. And it was also going on too, by the way. I'm not going to talk about it today really, but there's a version of this happening that we're doing in houses. We have House Academy, and we're watching those too. And it's the same thing. I'm sending offers to sellers for houses. They love the fact they don't have to clean out the garage, remodel the kitchen, have it staged, leave. Oh, and by the way, leave, whether or not even pre-corona situation, they had to leave the house because someone wanted to come in and see the house. They don't do any of that. They love this. So good question. Thank you for sharing, Brandon. Let's see. Oh, all right. Noted. So Erin said it would be awesome if me or my team could do a quick training video on how we use Facebook ads to sell property. What's funny about this is always training, always changing. There's a couple I call them content leaders in Facebook marketing. One of them is Mari Smith. Mari Smith in San Diego. I love her. No affiliation at all. I wish she was my friend. I don't know her and I would love to know her. So anyway, uh, she keeps me up to date on a lot of the trends with Facebook, and it's changing so quickly right now. I know they're focusing on the messenger, but marketplace things are changing. They're turned on and then they're turned off. But yeah, I get it. So we should, and I hear you, and I like that idea, and I think we should too. I'll work on that. Tried a few times using the most current techniques and failed. I know it works, but I must be doing something wrong. You know what I'm going to do too? I'm going to reach out to some of our members. I'm going to put it on my team, and I'm going to have my team put it on our community, because I know we have people in our community that are doing it better than us. So good, Erin, and we'll get to the bottom of it. So hello, Tiffany. Tiffany says, "Oh wow, so glad that you addressed that about a local address for a different area that you were really interested in. I actually had a seller who at first was on board and was good with my price in selling her land, but when I followed up with her in a couple days, she was livid because another investor had sent another letter using the same template, but with a Texas, obviously local address. She seemed really bothered by the fact that she got the same letter from someone else out of state and decided not to sell." Thank you for sharing that, Tiffany. I haven't, I and I'm glad you were on the same page. We'll leave it at that. That was a perfect thing. So there you go. And you know what? And that person, like us, probably was not in that state. So, all right. Justin said, or Justin asked, hi, Justin Reed, what's the best way to get started? Can I try out membership or get in our community? You know what? You can try out kind of a version of our membership by getting involved in our community and coming to our member calls. So no problem right there. I have a link here too. I'll put it up for you to see. So I'm going to show everyone right now. To learn more, if you haven't already, Justin, go get our ebook, download our free ebook on landacademy.com. And then to reach my team, there it is. It's support@landacademy.com. Reach out and they will hook you up. You can get in our member calls. And I know there's other things that they will let you join in on. Oh, great question. Let's see. Hello, Michelle. Michelle asks, um, do you think it's possible to get started if I only have about 2.5 hours a day of uninterrupted research time? I have 3 young kids at home. Congratulations, you're homeschooling like a lot of us are right now. Oh boy. And you know what? The answer is absolutely yes. And what's interesting is most of our community, or not, I mean, a lot of our community, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of our community, we started with a day job doing this on the side. And then over time, and you'll find out when you get in talking to our people, over time, this overtook their day job. For a lot of them, there was one deal that just pushed it over the edge. They're like, okay. And, like me, myself included, when I first started doing this with Steven, I had a day job. And there came a point in this, and he was kind of testing me, to see if I could do this and if I would, provide value and do this full time with him. And what happened was, it was obviously an overwhelming yes. And here we are today, and how well we've grown this and created Land Academy, and everything is wonderful. But there was a day that I was doing my day job, and exactly like you're saying, Michelle. And it was funny because I had a desk in front of me and a desk behind me. I was able to work remote from this job. So I'd do my job, and on my lunch break, or a good phone call or some break, I'd whip around and I would work at the other desk, and then I whip back around at my other job, and then at 5 o'clock I whip back around and dive into land. And there came a point, and this is what's happened to a lot of our members, like you got that one check or something happened, where it was just like, okay, now I need to look at this differently, because I'm officially losing money because of my day job. I'm officially making less money showing up to this 9 to 5 job than I would be if I was doing this full time. My other thing I tell people too, we haven't talked about this in a while, is if you are fortunate enough right now to still have that day job, I want you to keep that job. I want you to stay in that job until you're at that point and then push it a little bit further. I want it to make so much sense and you have so much money in the bank, you have such of a cushion that that's you think you should have done it 6 months ago. That's when I want you to leave your day job. Now, some people here, so the reason I was saying this, Michelle, is that we're used to that. And the answer is yes. And that's the way why we designed the program this way. It's all in modules, it's all online for you to learn. Um, Basically, everything about our business, you can dive in and learn and watch and listen and read at your own pace, at your own schedule. Some people do it a couple hours a day. I've had people tell me that they pulled all-nighters and, like, not kidding, binge watch stuff and done it in one weekend. They were just so, it sung to them and they were so into it. And they're like, I'm getting the mailer out on Monday, no matter what kind of thing. So you can do however you want it, however you want to do it. And then our community, though, our resources and everything about us, we're here 24/7. Our online community never closes. You can get in, and especially now with this environment, there's we have more time. Our member calls, I love it. Our member calls have grown so much in the last, and you know who you are, that you couldn't chime in usually because you had to be in the office, and now you're at home, and hopefully you're working from home, but you can, have your earbuds in and really chime in and listen a little bit more and pay attention on our live calls on Thursdays. So we're here. That didn't change and it won't change. By the way, too, that's part of why we keep it capped at 500. We want to maintain this community and maintain the interaction and keep it where it's us, that you can really ask and interact with us. All right, so we talked about this a little bit, and I'll do it again. Uh, so I'm guessing it's Jorge. How much would someone need to start and purchase the properties? You know what? Actually, I didn't touch on that. How much for these properties? That's a really, really good question. You could buy properties easily for $1,000 and sell them for 3 because they're worth 5. That's kind of what we do. It kind of depends on really the area and what you're comfortable with. What I don't want you to do, if you're comfortable with $10,000 area, or volume or transactions, whatever, I want you to go for it. I don't want you to find, because there's some areas in the country, let's just say there's Santa Barbara ranches. I'll just throw that out there. It's hard to find properties for $1,000, and sell them for 3 in Santa Barbara. The prices around there are all up in the 50,000 and above range. 50, and if you're comfortable with that, uh, you should do that. Most of us, I kind of want you to get your feet wet a little bit and make sure you like this. And for you might be buying property for 5,000, selling it for $12,000 because it's worth 18 to $20,000. It used to be worth 30. Now 18 to 20 all day long. That's why I'm selling it for 12. That's how I do it fast. So some people buy them for 1,000. Whatever makes sense to you, what you're comfortable with. I want you to get 10 deals under your belt. This is a lot of things we do. We talk about it in our program. There's a lot of things when you're starting out that you don't need. You don't need to run out and get an LLC. You don't need to run out and, create all this, get office space. We know that's not the case anymore. That's for sure. Lots of things you don't need. I want you to get your feet wet. I want you to do some deals. I want you to know that you like it. I want you to know that you're comfortable talking with sellers, you're comfortable talking with buyers. You don't have to love it, by the way, but you can do it. And then what's going to happen down the road, you're going to get good at this. You're going to start making some money, and you're going to either partner with somebody who's going to do the things that you don't like Stephen and I did. It's no secret. He's the data master, and I don't even pretend to be at his level. I am so darn lucky, but he hates the phones. He just doesn't like. He could do it. He doesn't like talking on the phones. He doesn't like talking to sellers. He doesn't like the buyers, and that's where I come in. I love it. So could I get myself out of a paper bag? I could. not as good as him. It's certainly not as fast as him. I don't even want, so so what will happen too, Jorge, is you'll hire it out. Um, that was not the question, or you'll meet a partner, but hopefully that helps you get ahead. So, and then again, but also, if you run out of funds, what happens too often, a lot of us, and especially it's happening right now, your mailers are going out there. You've got more sellers like Aaron English was just sharing with us a minute ago. He's got more deals coming in that he can keep up with right now. It's either do a deal or sleep, and he's choosing do a deal, and that's how I roll too. So I get it. So if you should you run out of funds, our community now, or all, reach out to me at Land Academy Deal Funding, and you find it on, if you just go to landinvestors.com, you'll find a link there for Land Academy Deal Funding, and just put in the deal. And you don't have to be a member, by the way. You could be in somebody else's group. You learn to do this from somebody else, and you just tune in because you're like, I need to know how to talk to these sellers, and you happen to be here. You don't have to be in our community. I'll fund your deal. So no good deal should go to waste. What do we have here? Got a couple more questions. Chelsea asks, hello, Chelsea Ryan. Chelsea says, excuse me, it's not to me, it's to Michelle. I'm in the same boat. I can tell you I get a lot less sleep. Oh, I feel for you guys. I'm lucky. I have a 16-year-old, but even then I still have to micromanage them to make sure stuff gets done. But I do a lot after they go to bed at night. Thank you, Chelsea, for sharing that. I really need to have more self-control and stop and get myself to bed earlier. It's totally doable. You're just going to be a lot busier. That is true. I love it. We joke about that. Like Steven, that's his data thing. He'll go in and go into a dark room and start researching new areas or new counties or just, something. And he's gone. I have to take him a sandwich and kind of remind him to eat sometimes. You get lost in this. I'm a deal junkie. Like I'll keep going. We joke about it because true story, last fall, and it was right around Halloween, we sent out a LA County 17 unit mailer to pick up multi tenant, real specific zoning uh, acquisitions, these buildings. And I was so excited. I want to take these calls myself. I got so into it. I was like, I was not going out. Steven's like, well, he's like, hey, we're supposed to meet our friends. And I'm like, you go. I didn't even go. There's a couple of nights that, like, I'm not talking. I love this so much. I voluntarily chose to stay home on Saturday night and answer the phone because I wanted to talk to these sellers and get these deals because I'm a deal junkie. I've admitted, and there should be a meeting, I'm sure, for me. Oh, thank you. And thank you for sharing that. That was so sweet. All right, Tiffany says, all right, so at what point would you suggest getting an LLC? Down after your 10 deals and you decide this is your business, then I want you to start doing that. At the same time, they're going to start looking around going, all right, now I need an accountant that understands me and understands my business model. And this is going to be my business. It's not just, they're not doing taxes based on the transaction. They're doing the taxes on your company as an entity. You're going to look at things like, do I give myself a paycheck? How do I do that? All of that stuff, that's what you're going to have with your accountant. And that's when you're going to make your LLC. So when you're getting started, this is a good question, Tiffany Carter. Thank you for asking it. There's nothing wrong with doing your first couple deals, putting them in your name. You can take ownership of a property as Tiffany Carter, and then you try and sell it Tiffany Carter, and then it's going to be Carter Properties LLC in 90 days from now because that went so well. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. Brandon said, I did it right from the start. Less than $200 for me, and it was easy. I'm guessing that was I'm not sure what your budgeting was for that, Brandon. I apologize. But you could start with not a lot. I want you to have enough to send out a healthy amount of mail. That's really the main thing. Tiffany said, I totally didn't think I would love the data part. Yeah, so much. But I find myself lost in it for hours too. All right, so you're the Jack, you're the Steven. It's funny. I find when we do consulting calls, it's very easy. That's how you would identify, like, all right, Jill, I'm the Jack in this situation. Okay, Tiffany, got it. You're the data guy. I understand. There was something he did though. Something on one of our member calls the other day. I can't remember what it was, but it actually got me in trouble. Oh, it was a House Academy call. He was looking at triggers of areas that you can look at now that are going to start going down, and where we really want to start positioning ourselves to sending out mail and picking up properties. That got my attention. When it's stuff where you can see in 2008, you can find areas, let's, in parts of this country, 2008, they were selling for one fourth of what they were selling in January. Huh. That's an indicator of what's possible in that area. Other areas like Southern California, things didn't go down a fourth. So you're not going to probably see it go down that far. So that's just stuff. That's what gets my attention. But then the digging in it, Tiffany, you and Steven, you can, we appreciate you. So good. Rebecca says, I've been taking your and Steven's advice. Great. And cutting the lowest land watch price in quarter. And then I've been taking 60% off of that number for my offers during this virus time. I'm trying to lower my offers, hoping they're not too low. Any feedback would be great. See what your sellers say. When they call back, you'll look at them. You'll know. And it's just, Rebecca, nothing's crazy right now. Like Dan and I were talking about on our member call yesterday. If you go into it with that mindset that if this guy says X, I got to buy it. And based on what you're saying right there, if this guy says yes to this price, I have to buy it. I still want you to make sure it checks all the 4 A's, right? I want you to have access and attributes and, whatever acreage makes sense for what you're trying to accomplish there. I want to make sure you check all those boxes. You can't assume what people can afford to buy, and you can't assume what people will accept. I learned that a long time ago. You just have to come at it and do what makes sense to you, and let them say yes or let them say no. Good questions. Tony says, well, that's very sweet. I just noticed that I am very special. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. That's really nice. Rebecca said, hello, Rebecca Seidler. All right, I've been taking, okay, we already covered that one. Got that in there twice here. Ooh, Tiffany Carter, this is fantastic. Thank you for sharing. I closed the second deal in my name today, and my third one will be closing next week. There you go. That's how it's done. That's it. I am so happy. Congratulations. So I officially went over twice the time, and I am so happy that I could be here with you and answer these questions. I hope that really provided some value and some good stuff for you. I have a couple things that I want to share. I think you're going to be really interested in. So hold on for just 1 second. I want to share that I have two special announcements. One is for those of you doing mailers and sitting at your computer right now. I know there's probably several of you that are sitting at your computers right now working on a mailer. Today's the last day for Erin's awesome special. It's 10% off. Offers to owners.com on your mailers, on your mail that's going out. What is offers to owners? That's our own direct mail company, and it's 10% off. If you have any questions, just go on to offers to owners.com. Phone numbers there, pick him up, give him a call, email him. You can chat on there, send him a message, whatever. There's all kinds of ways to reach out, and he'll fill you in and help you out getting some mail out. What I also wanted to share is what I didn't tell Steven that I was doing this, but I'm doing it anyway. I want to kind of share with you what we're working on this month. We've had a lot of meetings, as I'm sure you have also, over the last several weeks, as we all regroup and as our dates change and what we think we're going to get to do next week is now not what we're going to get to do next week, and we're all regrouping and going with the flow. So we always have these big goals and big things that we're working on. I kind of want to share what we're working on because I'm really excited about them. Stephen has committed to making May Car Academy month. So those of you that are here that are interested in Car Academy, it's a whole different animal than what we're doing now. It's a little bit of a labor of love and a hobby for him, and a little bit of, hey, what we do every day applies to cars too. Why not use it? And with the data and the way we're going to send offers, and it's going to be phenomenal. So I wanted to just kind of put out there the goal is June 1, and he has committed to all May, and I've committed to, and my whole team, we're all committed to giving him the space and the resources, whatever he needs, to get it done and out there and have Car Academy completed this month. So we're really excited about that. What I am going to be doing this month is I'm going to be working on, and you're going to love this is how we roll. I'm so lucky to have a partner like Steven, because what you want to be working on and what you should be working on are not always the same things. So there's things that it's a labor of love. And I'm like, I really want to be working on X. And Steven's very sweet at saying, is that really what you should be doing, Jill? I'm not so sure. So he sat me down today and very nicely pointed me in the right direction, which is, doing things that come easy to you. And like this whole thing I'm doing right now, and sharing all my experience with you, talking to these sellers, and when I talk with buyers, it comes so easy for me, and I realize it doesn't come easy for everyone. So I'm really going to spend this month working on that. I don't know what's going to be, but I envision it being some whole big uh, add-on kind of a program to people on really getting over um, talking to people and just how to acquire property better and more inexpensively, how to sell land better and faster and more inexpensively, how to maximize your time, figure out who's a tire kicker, get them off your phone, whatever it is. So I was kind of playing with my topic, I was joking around with like how to win deals while making friends. I don't know. I'm like coming up with all kinds of funny sayings. If you have a good saying, bring it. I love it. And by the way, you guys, my community, you come up with, well, Stephen came up with the Jillify it, but you guys always come up with a good, funny saying. So if you've got something great, or you've got something you want me to roll into this, let me know, because it's going to be about. I want to create like a program that will focus on first our land business, but then I see it even progressing to any kind of business kind of thing. And one of the things I want to do is I really want to get into, maybe even we talked about it last week. I'm open to calling as part of this, I don't mind calling some of your sellers and some of your buyers back for you. I'll record them and we can talk about them together, and just to help you get there. So it's something along those lines. That's what I'm working on. So that's what we're doing. So that's it. I am so glad to be here, and I really appreciate your time, and I really appreciate you joining me today. I want to say, for those of you, again, put it up here, you want to know more about us, understand what we do, go over to landacademy.com. Right at the very top, you can find a place to quick and download the free ebook. And if this sings to you, get on our community, reach out to our people. As I mentioned earlier, I have no trouble letting you into our member call. I'm happy to give you an invite if you want to kind of be a fly on the wall and get in on a Thursday afternoon and listen. We have a Land Academy call. We have a House Academy call. You want to get in and hear what we're really doing and the deals that we're doing? No problem. We'll let you in. Or like I said, reach out to my team. I am Jill DeWitt, co-founder of Land Academy and House Academy, and you are not alone in your real estate ambition. Have a great weekend. I hope you are safe and well, and your family's happy. And see you soon. Thanks. Bye.